Today I'm going to try to explain how to play Transformers, the deck building game by Renegade Game Studios, as quickly as possible. In this game, you'll choose one of 6 characters. Each character starts in its alt mode. You'll see it has an amount of movement indicated on the left-hand side, as well as an ability. These characters can be transformed for 1 energon, or when you play a card which lets you transform your character. And when transformed, they lose the movement that they had, but they gain a new ability as well as abilities you can pay energon to play. Here's an example of a main deck card. The cost of the card is in the top left corner, costing 4 power. This card generates 2 power, 2 range, and 1 movement. The 2 power can be spent at a range of 2, but it only allows the power generated by this card to be used at that range, not all power you generated. It also has an ability in the bottom, as well as another ability that you could pay energon to activate. Other cards you may encounter are sights, which will stay in place in the matrix when revealed and provide a bonus when you are on that space. Decepticon schemes, which will have an ongoing penalty which will need to be thwarted by a player on their turn. Cooperative schemes, if playing solo or cooperatively, which can be contributed to over multiple turns. Ally cards, which when purchased go directly into play, as well as Autobot, Maneuver, and Technology cards, which will be placed in your discard pile to be added to your deck. Relic cards, if playing competitively. You'll find Decepticons in the Matrix, which will need to be defeated prior to defeating a boss in solo or co-op. These cards, when purchased for the cost in the top left corner, are not added to your deck. They are then placed face down in your vault. You gain the VP at the bottom, which if playing in solo or cooperative, VP is transferred to Energon. The transform and rollout stack is placed next to the matrix and can be purchased from any space inside the matrix. Similarly, the damage stack is placed near the matrix. Anytime you are told to take a damage, it is placed directly into play next to your character. Additionally, there is an encounter stack. These cards will be flipped over when you reveal a Decepticon in the matrix or the Decepticon boss, as well as when you want to confront the Decepticon boss. The encounter card has 2 parts to it. The ambush is played when a Decepticon or Decepticon boss is revealed. If it was a Decepticon, it's played against anybody who is in that spot. If it is the boss, the ambush hits all adversaries. The bottom of the card is for when you are confronting the boss. To form the main deck, you will take the ally cards, maneuvers, relics if playing competitively, Decepticon schemes, sights, technology, Autobots, and Decepticons, and shuffle them together. After shuffling the deck, you'll form the matrix based on the number of players. 3x4 will be used for 1 to 2 players. 4x4 will be used for 3 to 4 players. And 4x5 will be used for 5 players. After the matrix has been formed, you'll make 3 stacks of 7 cards each for 1 player, 9 cards for 2, 11 cards for 3, 13 for 4, and 15 for 5 players. Additionally, you will have a 4th stack of 5 cards, no matter how many players are in the game. After making your stacks, you'll take the rest of the cards and remove them from the game. You will then take the 2 level 1 bosses indicated by the 1 in the top right corner, shuffle them together and place one of them in the first stack and remove the other one from the game. You'll then do the same thing with the 2 level 2 bosses, shuffle them up, place one randomly in the second pile, and remove the other one from the game. And finally, take the 2 level 3 bosses, Shuffle those up, place one in the third pile, and remove the other one from the game. Setting up for a solo game, I now have 4 piles. First pile containing 7 cards as well as the level 1 boss. Second pile containing 7 cards and the level 2 boss. Third pile containing 7 cards and the level 3 boss. And the fourth pile containing 5 cards. When playing solo or cooperatively, you'll shuffle the cooperative schemes together, deal 1 into the first 3 stacks, and remove the other 2 from the game. At this point, the 5 cards becomes the bottom of our deck. We'll then shuffle up the third stack and place it on top of the last stack. Then we will shuffle the second stack and place it on top. And finally, we will shuffle the first stack and place that on top. Once that is complete, those stacks become our main deck with the bosses seated in order from top to bottom. You'll then add the main deck to one side of the matrix, transform and roll out, encounter cards, and damage cards to the other side. Next, you'll choose a character and standee. All players will start the game with 2 energon, and gather your starter deck made of 6 courage cards, a reserves card, a fix, firepower, and patrol. You'll shuffle these cards together to form your starter deck, draw 5 cards, and you're ready to play. The player who has most recently watched or read Transformers goes first. You can start your turn in any space in the matrix. On your turn, you can play your cards. The move generated can be used to move your character from one space to another, or a move can be used to flip over and reveal the card you are standing on. The ability of each card has to be resolved as soon as you play it. Any power or movement generated can be saved to play during your turn, but if a card is destroyed on your turn, you lose the power and movement generated by that card. When playing cooperatively, you can assist other players who are battling Decepticons by offering an assist card if necessary. You can use any card as an assist as long as it generates power and you are within range. For instance, this card generates 1 power, and if I use it to assist, it generates an additional power, but can only be used in a range of 1. That would allow Optimus to assist Bumblebee or RC, but Ratchet would be too far away for assistance. In competitive games, damaged players are forced to accept assistance from others. All players who assisted, as well as the attacking player, will gain the reward on the bottom of the card, but the card will go to the current player's vault. Additional things I'd like to remind is when you flip over a Decepticon and you are in that space, you need to draw an encounter card and resolve the ambush. If you enter a Decepticon space, you also get ambushed. Blocks may be discarded from your hand to avoid an attack. You resolve the text on the block. In this case, you could pay 2 energon to keep this card in your hand after blocking. Used encounter cards will be discarded, shuffled when needed, and when a boss is confronted, you will shuffle all the encounter cards together to draw 1. Cards with a start of turn effect can have a start of turn token placed on them to help remind you to activate that ability at the start of your turn. Similarly, you can place the ongoing token on an ongoing card to remind you to do the ongoing ability once per turn. Cards that read "You may transform" allow you to do so without paying the transformation cost unless the cost is modified by an ongoing card in play. Cards with flight on them allow you to move the movement on that card in any direction, up, down, left, right, or diagonally. Cards that allow you to teleport to any space in the matrix. If it states teleport 1 or any other number, you can teleport that many spaces, up, down, left, or right, but not diagonally. Teleporting onto a Decepticon does not trigger the ambush. These double-sided tokens can be used to track movement spent and power gained. And finally, these numbered tokens allow you to track your victory points. I hope you found this helpful. Today I'm going to try to explain how to play Transformers, the deck building game by Renegade Game Studios, as quickly as possible.